Before we begin, in 2019, YouTube was caught data mining children under the age of 13, violating the Child's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA. Since settling, YouTube has enacted new policies meant to dodge responsibility and scapegoat creators. This video is not made for kids. It is not targeted at kids. It is not advertising to kids. Parental discretion is advised. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is the Sentinel watching over Geekdom, and welcome back to Sentinel Reviews. It's that time of the week again. Doctor Who, Series 12, Episode 4, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, by new writer to the series, Nina Mediver. At least I think that's how you say her name. Anyway, as always, I will be discussing spoilers for the episode, so if you have not seen it yet, this is your last chance to abandon ship. And right off the bat, I was excited for this episode. I think right before Spyfall Part 1 premiered, Chris Chibnall revealed a little more about his plans for Series 12. One of those plans was that he had Goran Vishnik as a guest star, who plays Nikola Tesla in this episode. And even though I didn't realize he was going to play Nikola Tesla, because he didn't reveal that, Chibnall didn't reveal that, I was excited because I like Goran Vishnik. He's a really good actor, and just everything I've seen him in, I've liked. I found enjoyable. Same here with this episode. This is a really enjoyable, really fun episode, and I also think that this is an episode that knows it's fun, that knows it's not supposed to be too heavy. It knows it's just having fun, which I think really pays off, because one of the problems I have with New Who overall is that more often than not, it tends to take itself way too seriously. I mean, sure, here and there's a more humorous, comedic episode, but overall, it tends to take itself way too seriously. But this episode doesn't, and it has fun, which I think really helps it. Also, this is a longer episode than Orphan 55. I think Orphan 55 was around 47 minutes. Again, I'm watching these DVR'd on my TV, so the runtime I get is the runtime with commercials. And this one is 50 minutes, 55 minutes. So that extra runtime really does help, because this episode is very fast-paced, like Orphan 55, but nothing feels rushed. Everything feels well executed. Goran Vishnik, as I said, is really good as Nikola Tesla. And I like that the episode opens on him, on sort of what he's struggling. Because then when the Doctor enters, already in the middle of her own thing, what's going on in this episode, it's a really good way to introduce Jodie Whittaker, to introduce the Doctor. Jodie Whittaker immediately takes charge. And as always, like with Series 11, Jodie's performance is one of the best things about this episode. And I know I've said that a lot in the past, but this time that's saying something, because there are a lot of good things in this episode. There's a steampunk vibe to this episode, which I think is simply because of the fact we're focusing on Tesla and, to a lesser extent, Thomas Edison. I'll circle back around to that. But again, I like it. Steampunk is one of my favorite aesthetics in sci-fi, and it's not something Doctor Who does often, so I'm always very happy when we do see it. Goran Vishnik and Jodie Whittaker are great together. The scenes they have together are really good, and which are really helped by, I'm gonna butcher this name, and I'm sorry, Segan Akinola's score. She might be my favorite composer for New Who. And there's a huge asterisk next to that statement, because I've never really paid a lot of attention to the composers, so make of that what you will. But yeah, Goran Vishnik is really good with Jodie Whittaker, and he's also really good with Mandip Gill. The scenes he shares with Yaz are also great. Edison, I thought, was a little cartoony. No, I'm gonna put Edison on hold again, because I just started talking about the companions. Mandip Gill is great in this. This is one of Yaz's stronger episodes, I feel. Graham and Ryan are okay. There's not really anything for them to do. Actually, on the whole, there's not a lot for the companions to do in this episode. It's mostly the Doctor. But, Graham and Ryan are very charming. They're very charismatic. So I feel the things they do get, they do work well with the material they're given. Now, as I said, a surprise to me this episode is that Thomas Edison is in this, which, was interesting because in school, when we started learning about inventors, we really glorified Edison, just the man who invented the light bulb and, all these other things he did. But the reality is, he was a shrewd businessman, so he put business first. And obviously the reality there is he was kind of a massive dick. And, so it was nice to see that depiction of someone who is clearly historically revered as a hero, but even though there is this dark side to him that no one really talks about. And Edison was okay. Like I said, I thought he was a little too close to cartoony, but it was decent enough, and it, like I said, it was fairly accurate. The villains of the piece, the Skithra, this is one everyone was talking about going into this episode, because when we did start getting advertisements for Series 12, we started seeing what looked like an alien that was going to be the Rachnos, but they were scorpions instead of spiders. And, which, cool enough, I do think if you're going to take any animal to anthropomorphize and make into an alien, a scorpion is actually a really good choice. And the CG on the Skithra soldiers is actually really good. The Skithra queen, though, is kind of disappointing, It's like, because she's bipedal, and, her tail pops up like it's obviously a prop, and you can tell, oh, we can't always use the tail. And it's disappointing that we didn't get something with the Skithra queen like we had with the Rachnos queen. Although in hindsight, that may also be a strength, because, it feels like, okay, we're doing a Rachnos type thing, but the Rachnos didn't work, so let's try to do something different. So I am very mixed on the Skithra, ultimately. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Because I've been speaking in broad strokes for a little bit here now. Jodie Whittaker, her performance, as I said, was the best thing. There is, again, an intensity to it. Thinking back on it, I think one of the weaknesses of Series 11 was the villains. There wasn't anything really great about them. There wasn't anything noteworthy about them. But here with Series 12, we are getting some much better villains. The Master, of course, the Kasavin, the Dregs, and now the Skithra. And I think I think you can tell the improvement in the villains because of how Jodie Whittaker plays off them. Every time she encounters them, she has this intensity, this ferocity, especially with the Skithra Queen in the climax of the episode. Just the way she goes on, saying, no one's ever going to remember you, and the plan she comes up with to defeat them. Also, when nothing goes according to plan and she has to think of a new solution on her feet. But yeah, we're starting to see the cracks in what an Optimus 13 is. Which, as I've said, I kind of have issues with because I like, after the uber serious, woe is me, lonely god, oh, it's been 3 minutes, time to mope again, depiction of the Doctor that Tennant, Smith, and Capaldi all were, I was really excited to see a Doctor who was nothing like that. But like I said, Whittaker plays it well. Now that I think about it, she might actually be replacing Peter Capaldi as my favorite New Who Doctor. We'll see, though. Oh, wow. I didn't take very many notes. I only took about half a page of notes this time, so there isn't a lot to talk about, and I didn't... But yeah, no. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror is just really enjoyable. It's very fun. In my opinion, thinking about it right now, it might be one of my favorite celebrity historicals. in Doctor Who. I'm gonna give Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror an 8 out of 10. But what were your thoughts on the episode? As always, start a conversation in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video around as it'll help my channel grow. In the description box below, you'll find the link to my Ko-fi where you can help support the channel, and you'll find the link to my Twitter where you can follow me and get updates on the channel. This is the Sentinel watching over Geekdom, and I'll see you guys next time.